These wrestlers were so massive, they looked unreal, but they were 100% real. Have you ever looked at someone and thought, there's no way this guy is human? That's the kind of reaction wrestling fans had when these behemoths stepped into the ring. From a 685 lb colossus who wore overalls to a 7-foot-tall freak of nature who moved like a lightweight, these giants shattered expectations and sometimes physics. Brace yourself, because these wrestling giants were so massive, it's hard to believe they actually existed. Giant Gonzalez. Imagine an 8-foot-tall human walking toward you with muscles, fur-covered gear, and an aura of destruction. That was Giant Gonzalez, the tallest man to ever wrestle in WWE. Born Jorge Gonzalez in Argentina, he first chased an NBA dream before health issues rerouted his career. WCW saw his size and made him a star, but it was his 1993 Royal Rumble debut, where he eliminated The Undertaker without being an official entrant, that sealed his WWE legacy. His career was short, but his size, unforgettable. Andre the Giant. Some call him the 8th wonder of the world, and for good reason. Andre the Giant stood 7'4" and weighed over 500 lbs. Diagnosed with acromegaly, his body grew non-stop, and by his 20s he was a global icon. In WWE, he went undefeated for 15 years. His WrestleMania 3 match against Hulk Hogan, ending in the historic body slam heard around the world, is burned into wrestling history forever. But outside the ring, his size made life difficult. Despite that, Andre was larger than life in every possible way. Haystacks Calhoun.
The country boy himself, Haystacks Calhoun,
A walking mountain at over 600 pounds, Haystacks Calhoun became a wrestling icon with his country boy look, barefoot, in denim overalls, and often wearing a horseshoe. From the 1950s to the 70s, he was a massive crowd puller. But what truly made Haystacks a legend was his gentle demeanor. Fans loved him because he wasn't just huge, he was heartwarming. The Big Show, Paul Wight. Paul Wight was a rare kind of giant, a 7-foot-tall powerhouse who actually evolved. Whether it was WCW's World Champ or WWE's comedy skits with Cena, Big Show kept changing his game. Born with acromegaly, he had surgery early on but still became a towering force. Over 2 decades, he's done it all, from main events to meme-worthy moments. That's longevity very few can match. The Great Khali towering at 7'1" and hailing from India, the Great Khali, Dalip Singh Rana, broke barriers. A former Punjab police officer and powerlifter, Khali debuted in WWE in 2006 by demolishing The Undertaker. Not a bad start. He later made history as the first Indian WWE World Champion, inspiring millions across the globe. Beyond the ring, Khali was a gentle giant, Bollywood star, wrestling mentor, and icon back home. Omos. When Omos walked into WWE, he looked like he belonged in a Marvel movie. 7'3", 400 lbs, with terrifying power. Born Talalop Jordan Omogbahin in Nigeria, he played college basketball before WWE gave him a shot. First seen beside AJ Styles as a bodyguard, he quickly turned heads. Within months, he was winning titles and battling Brock Lesnar. This guy isn't the future, he's the now. Braun Strowman. The monster among men wasn't a gimmick, it was a warning. Standing 6'8" and 380 lbs, Braun Strowman started out flipping trucks and ended up flipping the WWE Universe. Whether he was dominating in the Wyatt family or winning the Universal Championship, Strowman brought brute strength mixed with show-stealing intensity. When he returned in 2022, the fans erupted, proof that this giant still rules. Giant Silva. Before he was suplexing foes, Giant Silva was dunking basketballs for Brazil's Olympic team. At 7'2", Silva had the size and charisma to be a standout. Whether in WWE's oddities or Japan's MMA scene, this guy was unforgettable. Win or lose, Silva made you watch. Because seeing a man that huge compete was an experience by itself. Kane fire, destruction, and pure intimidation. Kane, Glenn Jacobs, debuted in 1997 by ripping the door off hell in a cell. At 7 feet tall and over 300 lbs, he was a monster. Yet behind the mask was an incredibly versatile performer who went from fearsome villain to comedic tag partner and eventually a mayor. Talk about transformation. The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, aka The Undertaker, was more than just a giant. He was a legend. At 6'10", he was athletic, terrifying, and mysterious. His WrestleMania streak, his rivalries, legendary. For over 30 years, he ruled wrestling's dark side with presence no one else could replicate. Big John Studd. If you stood toe-to-toe with Andre the Giant and didn't blink, you had to be Big John Studd. At 6'10 and 364 lbs, Studd was part of some of WWE's earliest iconic matches, including the $15,000 Body Slam Challenge at WrestleMania. He helped define what it meant to be a wrestling giant during the Golden Era. Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid intensity. That's what defines Sid Vicious. At 6'9", Sid looked like he was sculpted out of stone and hit like a truck. From his terrifying eyes to his bone-shattering powerbomb, he made sure you never knew what was coming next. He was world champ in WWE and WCW, and chaos followed him everywhere. Kevin Nash, Diesel, the coolest giant in wrestling. Cool, calm, calculated. That was Kevin Nash, the man who turned the wrestling world upside down in both WWE and WCW. Standing an imposing 6'10 with a chiseled frame and effortless charisma, Nash wasn't just another big man in the ring. He was the blueprint for a new kind of giant. He broke out in the mid-90s as Diesel, first serving as Shawn Michaels' imposing bodyguard before launching into a solo run that saw him capture the WWE Championship. But Nash wasn't just about brute strength. His promos were sharp, his delivery smooth, and his presence undeniable. Then came the seismic shift, WCW. In 1996, Nash jumped ship and alongside Scott Hall and Hulk Hogan formed the legendary New World Order, NWO. With sunglasses, black and white gear, and a swagger that oozed danger, the NWO became one of wrestling's most influential factions. Nash helped flip the script, turning WCW into must-watch TV and making the Monday Night Wars era unforgettable. His finishing move, the jackknife powerbomb, was devastating. But even more powerful was the way he changed how fans viewed giants, not just as monsters, but as main event caliber showmen who could talk, work, and lead the business into a new age. Their Big Daddy, Shirley Crabtree, the People's Champion of the UK. Before Hulk Hogan waved the American flag or The Rock raised an eyebrow, there was Big Daddy, a wrestling icon across the UK. Born Shirley Crabtree, he stood 6'6" and weighed over 300 lbs. But it wasn't just his size that made him a household name. It was his style, his showmanship, and his ability to light up Saturday afternoon TV for an entire generation. With flashy silver robes, slicked-back white hair, and the confidence of a rock star, Big Daddy was a hero to millions. In the 1970s and 1980s, British homes tuned in religiously to ITV's World of Sport, and when Big Daddy's theme hit, it was appointment viewing. He represented more than just brute force. He was the smiling giant, the family-friendly superstar who played the good guy in a world of bad boys. Who blew your mind the most? Was it the silent shadow of Undertaker, the massive frame of Andre, or the rising storm named Omos? Let us know in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more legendary wrestling stories that hit harder than a giant Gonzalez clothesline. Thanks for watching. Stay larger than life.